Howdy folks, late evening here on a Friday. Just finished up my work week, and then because I worked the night shift, just worked all day. Woke up, it's now 7:55 actually, and looks like I'm going to be wide awake tonight, so should be interesting. Looking out at the town of Jasper here. Doing a little hiking here while there's still some daylight. So this video is going to be titled Blatant Media Deception to Distract the People. And I'm making a little bit of a foray into politics here. And I'm going to be addressing the Trayvon Martin-Zimmerman case. So I have a TV in my room here, and cable TV, because it comes with the apartment. I actually emailed the human resources people and asked them if they could just cut off my cable, because I don't intend to watch it at all. And they said, no, sorry, it's just a permanent thing that comes with your apartment, so you have to pay for it. Pardon my being out of breath. So I've watched maybe a total of a couple of hours of TV in the past 4.5 months since I've been here. I'm just not that interested in it, and have other things to do. But over the past week or so, there were a couple times when I, got home from work at early in the morning, turned on the TV just to sort of get a little glimpse of what's going on in the world. I could not figure out what was going on in the world because of the frickin' Zimmerman-Trayvon case dominating the headlines 24/7, flipping around the channels, and they're all focused on this trial. And first I just want to say, it's a tragedy that a young man died needlessly. It's a tragedy for those families. It's a tragedy for that community. It is not a national story. How many similar events occurred today alone? How many dozens or probably hundreds of similar tragedies occurred today that will never see the light of day? The reason that this is a national story is because somewhere in a boardroom, in a conference room, some guy sitting on his luxurious seat in a private jet or a private yacht was flipping through the news stories and came across this one and was like, well, let's see, we have a racially tinged murder of a Hispanic against a black young guy that sounds like he's, was probably used excessive force against him. I bet this will really piss some people off if we put that out there. And so they said, okay, we're going with it. This is the story that's going to dominate the news, and they put it out there to the networks, press release or whatever, and it ran with it. It could be, any of hundreds of stories that turned out like this. The reason that it's a national story, the reason that people are talking about it coast to coast, is because it's on TV. All right? Because somebody is looking for ways to distract the people from what's really going on, so that the real news, the national news, the world news, and tremendous events get blacked out by utter absurdity that should be, something of concern for the people in that local community. So I'm going to put a couple of links down below this. Just a quick scan of these beautiful woods here in Jasper National Park, Canada. So I'm going to put a couple of links down below. One is a video by Greg Hunter, he's just an alternative media guy that I watch his videos. He talks a lot about the economy. That is one of the big things that they're distracting us from. And so he has a little weekly news wrap-up thing. And so he talks about some of the things that we are being distracted from. The other is by David Wilcock, his latest article. And he really is digging deep into what's going on, especially in the realms of the economy and finance and various, geopolitical shenanigans that are going on in that realm. So those are a couple of things to look at if you're curious to see what's really going on out there, which is big stuff. One of the big things that they're distracting us from is the U.S. economy and what a shambles it is in right now. The stock market is currently at all-time highs. The one and only reason is because of the Federal Reserve propping up the economy through money printing, otherwise known as quantitative easing. And I'm no economist, but I've been, just reading here and there and watching various videos. And Greg Hunter interviews a lot of top economists, people like, top guys in the Reagan administration, and they're all saying that basically we're strapped onto this runaway horse with wolves chasing us, and eventually the horse has to run out of juice and the wolves are going to get us. But we're running as fast as we can, as long as we possibly can. And that's what the quantitative easing, the money printing is they're just trying to stave off economic collapse as long as they possibly can. But all of the economists are saying that it's inevitable within the next 2 years, if not sooner. If it wasn't for this money printing by the Federal Reserve, then the economy would collapse immediately. Last month, sometime mid-June, then the Federal Reserve did a little test of sorts. Ben Bernanke, the Fed chairman, put out a statement saying there's a possibility sometime in the future we might cut back on the money printing just a little bit. And when he said that, the stock markets took a massive dive, like a 1,000-point drop or something, if I'm getting my facts correct, because I wasn't actually watching the news then, but read about this later. So just a mere suggestion that we might cut back on the money printing a little bit at some point in the future caused the stock market to go into turmoil. So that tells you they were putting a little test out there to see, okay, just want to get a little feel for what's going to happen if we make any changes here, and it's not a pretty sight. So there's my little take on what's going on in the news these days. Again, go ahead and check the links down below to that video and article by David Wilcock, and be informed. Take care. Namaste.